Hello guys, I hope you guys are doing well. I come back with another book review and we are reviewing How Did You Get Here by Nompumelelo Amanda Ledwaba. I love saying her name in full because in Alanto man, but yeah, if I was to write a doctoral thesis, from my heart, I would definitely write about the works of her hands, and I would write about how her ministry or her calling has been one of the most beneficial things for me. Like every single time I say, if anything, if Mpoomy was called for anyone, one person, it will definitely be me. Every time she puts something out, I've tried and tested it, and for me it always works. Hence, I would always stand on business and be like, she's the girl that she thinks she is. So I got this copy from her. It's a signed copy by Shali. I'm to know we have connections in higher places. It's a signed copy. Love it for me, Kesana. It is How Did We Get Here? A girl's guide to finding herself. But I really also recommend that boys read this book. And I know that it may seem like it's for females, but I really recommend that men read this book, because I think sometimes there's a disconnect in how men relate with women, because also they don't have an understanding how certain things make us feel. So I highly recommend that guys read this book, and it will also enable you to treat women better and have a certain understanding of how certain things are done. So this book, you can get it at exclusive books in any other bookshop, man. Internationally, you can also get it on Amazon. You can get it on Takealot. It goes for... it's not more than 300. I think depending on where you buy it, there's like a 10 rand, 20 rand difference, but it's not more than 300 rand. You are going to enjoy yourself. And I think more than just going into the book in essence, what I loved about it, I just want to say, I want to give Mpoomy her flowers. A special shout out for putting this book out here, because what you've done here, you've laid your cross before us. You have taken yourself and said, do what you please with me. And it takes a lot of courage. It takes a lot of audacity to be able to pull off something like this. Besides the context, I can imagine the vulnerability it took you to actually decide to say, let me put it out there. And also, what I love about this book, it will clear a lot of misconception about Mpoomy. Mpoomy as a brand, Mpoomy as an individual, Mpoomy as a woman. Because we have, if there's anything society has done to Mpoomy, we have vilified her, vilified her. I don't know if that makes sense, but we have okay, let me not say we, because shame. This is my girl. Nobody can tell me otherwise. Like, this is my girl, and that's on period, right? So I feel like what we have done, many people have decided to misconstrue the woman that she is. This book gives you a clarity. This book dismantles the idea that people put out there to say, oh, she's a perfect girl, or she thinks she's all that, whatever the case may be. Mpoomy has taken her brokenness, she has taken her wholeness, she has taken all of her and put it into this book and said, here it is. And she's represented the possibility of, she's represented the picture of you can become anything that you'd like to be. She's also represented the picture of saying two truths can exist at the same time. You could be going through the most in your career, but have the most beautiful relationship, most beautiful marriage, most beautiful kids. Your kids could be giving you a showdown. You could be having the most beautiful time in your career. And then she also teaches us on accepting those truths for what they are, and not trying to segregate them and separate them. You can wake up in the morning so happy, grateful for life, but also you can acknowledge that maybe you don't feel like going to the gym. You're just sad because maybe you're not getting the results that you desire. So all of those emotions can coexist. We don't have to isolate emotions and say, oh, I'm going to be sad for 7 days, therefore I cannot let happiness in. If happiness, joy, excitement is happening where you feel like you're in a season of sadness, a season of loss, let it all in, let it all come in. So I love that about her. Thank you so much, man, for writing this book and putting it out there and just laying your cross before us. One of the biggest lessons I've taken from this book is vulnerability. Mpoomy speaks a lot on vulnerability, right? And sometimes you're thinking, she's just saying, but putting this book out there was an act of vulnerability. Writing it the way she wrote it was an act of vulnerability. I love how short and sweet, straight to the point, easy to read, plain language. Guys, I'm a reader, so this for me was one of the easiest and one of the most beautiful books I've read, because yeah, it's hard. Reading is not so easy, so sometimes certain authors do make it hard, but she made it so easy. It's digestible. It's you don't get so confused. You learn new phrases here and there, but you understand the concept. She doesn't drag the chapter, short and sweet, but she gets straight to the point. You get what you need to get. And also what I love, I don't know if this was deliberate, she shared, but she didn't overshare. I loved the technique. So it's like, I'll tell you my business, but also I get to decide where I stop. And another thing that I love that she did with this book is that many times we allow people to tell our story for us, and when people tell our story for us, we are likely to be presented in an incorrect way, and we tend to feel shameful, and we tend to feel misunderstood and stuff. But when you tell your story, nobody can use your story against you. Nobody can come up here and be like, oh, but Mpoomy's marriage, blah blah blah, because she told us herself. Nobody can come here and be like, oh, Mpoomy, you did this, because she came up and said, this is what I've done, this is where I've come from, this is what I'm not going to apologize for, and this is what I'm working on. She's basically said, yeah, this is me. And when you tell your truth before people start saying things about you, you actually cut their power. You take back your power. What Mpoomy actually has given us, again, permission, more than anything, permission to heal, but also permission to be our best selves without feeling like we need to apologize, without feeling like we need to shrink ourselves. And I love how she dismantled the whole idea of having a people think, I don't know where people get this, and maybe we don't think the same, man, but I don't know why people often think, okay, she's got a perfect life and all of that, because that's odd. Like, I don't know, but I love how she dismantled all of that. She was like, you guys aren't you thinking, oh, perfect life, perfect this? Here's my real life. And because my life is like this, it doesn't mean my life is not good. And because my life is like that, it doesn't mean I don't make sacrifices. And how so many times people think she has it easy. Mpoomy puts in the work, guys. Mpoomy puts in the work. Mpoomy is a girl that's always working. She puts in the work. Maybe she may have certain privileges, but she's earned it. She's earned it. So I love that about the book. And also I love how, like, all of us as black people, we're related. My great-grandmother is also Kokumandlovu, and reading the book also made me feel in touch with women that came before me, and also looking at the dynamics. I'm like, okay, this is how we also grew up. These are the things that our parents would say. This is how our parents disciplined us. And I think another thing that was most liberating, and I think when I turned 23, I started looking at my parents as human beings, and I realized I love these people, I like them. What this book also done for me, it reaffirmed the whole thing to say, our parents did the best they could with what they knew. If you check record, like Mpoomy's mom and my mom are almost the same age. Actually, her parents' age and my parents' age, it's almost similar. And you realize that the technique and how they disciplined and how they did something is the same. And then now you also realize that that's all they knew, right? I'm not saying parents must be given a free pass, right? But I think this book also gives you permission to work on your relationship with your parents. It gives you permission to heal your relationship with your parents. It gives you permission to say, these are the parents God gave me, and this is what I have to work on with them. And it may not take away the things that happen, but at least maybe they're sorry. Or even if they're not sorry, it happened the way it happened, but I'm willing to start on a clean chapter. So I love how she gives permission to healthy family dynamics. And I love how she does say, it's not I have a perfect relationship with my parents, but they are my parents. They support me. And I love how she acknowledges every single thing, the negative and the positive. She then says, okay, this is what my mom would do. Maybe my mom would shout, but also my mom would buy us clothes. My mom would hold our hands. My dad they always at the front seat, they shop for everything. So you then realize that good and bad can coexist. Some people are good people with bad character, or some people are good people with lack of wisdom. Therefore, they can't act appropriately. So this book actually gives you an opportunity to give other people grace. Yeah, and my favorite chapters start from chapter 19. Mpoomy, you listen. From chapter 19, it's giving rent was due, because you were like, honey, I'm coming in. Okay, the other chapters are as beautiful, but Your chapter 19 to the last chapter, you ate. Like, it's giving, the contractors were like, hey baba, the book must go out. Like, you literally did justice. Those are my favorite chapters. Love them so much. And I love how you were so vulnerable. And I love how, even in how you talk about the villains in your story, you gave them respect, you honored them. You know, sometimes you think, nampet, you do me dirty, I'm releasing a book, I'm like, zizokhala ke manje, I'm going in. But you still gave the people that were villains in your story the respect. You know, you still sort of honored them, but you said what you said respectfully and politely. I loved that. And you gave it all. You literally said, guys, you know what, this is what I'm giving you. There's my last, I want to read out my favorite part of this book. It's the chapter 28, the final word. But I really loved it so much. And I think one of the things that you learn is that things do fall apart, and sometimes you must let them fall apart so that you can pick up the pieces and be able to get back to healing yourself, you know. And also, Mpoommy's life story is a depiction that because we are called, it doesn't mean that things are not gonna be bad. It doesn't mean we're not gonna have bad days. And she also depicts that your calling, like your calling comes with a lot of responsibilities. Your calling, the same way it is a blessing, it will come with a lot of responsibilities. It will come with a lot of blessings. It will come with a lot of compromises. And sometimes we don't like the compromise. We don't like certain things that happen. But because you are called, you will have to do what you gotta do in order for you to fulfill your call. And I think I also love that she actually was honest in that, you know, there's certain things that didn't work out, you know, there's certain things that I was hoping for, right? But because those things didn't work out, it didn't stop her from trying again. And if you check, Mpoomy is an epitome of trying and giving it your best. Whether it works out, that's on God's hands. And I think for me, also the book depicted that sometimes, actually not even some, most of the time, provision is on the other side of trying. Provision is on the other side of doing. Provision is on the other side of showing up. You can't complain and be like, oh no, I don't have funding for studying. Have you registered for studying? Oh no, I don't have funding for my business. Have you started the business? Have you registered the business? So for me, that's one of my biggest lessons, learning that sometimes you just have to start as clueless as you are. You can be the blueprint of whatever you're trying to serve. You don't have to have a precedent. And because we are powerful Black women, our generation is going to be the precedent. So she encourages that do not be taken. And I even saw the book launch. She did even say whether or not your service or whatever you think is a business is not in the market, you become the blueprint. You become the precedent. People will see via you. I love that as well. And if you look at the structure of wisdom and wellness, what it does, it's not the usual structure of business. It's not a usual thing, but she has natured that. And I also love how she talks about it's important being self-aware, right? It teaches you the book teaches you how to be self-aware and accepting of who you are. If anything, like I could relate with the stuff about children, right? I love children. I love children. Children love me. But I'm not babysitting anyone. I'm not that aunt. But when I have time with the children, I'm going to have a good time with the children. I'm going to talk to them. I'm going to, I'm just going to be that aunt. But I'm not that aunt who's going to be babysitting every other day and all of that like Nonto does. I'm more of, okay, I love this child. I'll carry her. I'll spend the day with her, quality time and all of that. But I'm not likely to be like a usual aunt. And sometimes you beat yourself up for those type of things. You're like, okay, why can't I do certain things a certain way? Why can't I do certain things like everybody else does them? But then you realize that this is your power. Tap into your power. Tap into your best self. Because also one of the best lessons that I've learned from this book, it's okay being weird. One of my things, I don't fit in, and I've struggled with this for a very long time, right? And at some point I thought it's an identity crisis, right? And I was like, no, maybe I've got an identity crisis because I don't fit in so many things, right? I just have and I'm so glad God has given me a community of friends and loved ones, and God gave me the right parents for my persona, the right family for my persona, the right friends for my persona, because I don't fit in so many things. I'm such a very old soul. Sometimes I just want to sit and have tea. The type of books that I read, how I engage in conversation, things that make me happy. I used to struggle with that, because I felt like, oh, but everybody that's 25 is going to clubs. Everybody that's 25 is going to ABCD. Why can't I do the same? Why can't I be part of that? Sometimes I would insist and it wouldn't go well. But I'm just at a point where I'm okay with who I am. I don't fit in anyway, and that's absolutely okay, and that's my power. It was so liberating knowing that one of your biggest role models. I'm not a person to believe in role models a lot, because I just believe people are imperfect, right? They're flawed. So when we say people are role models, we put them on a pedestal. But Mpoomy is one of those people that I look up to. Like, she's a model for most of my dreams and my goals. She's given me permission to become anything that I would like. She's given me permission to start. She's given me permission to dream as great as possible. Like, if you see me doing crazy things, I think you can DM Mpoomy and be like, yo, your girl is trying to dream a lot here. But she's given me permission for so many things, and I'm so grateful for her. But yeah, this book is too good, hey? It's too good. If you're confused about who you are, and all of that, this is the book for you. I highly recommend the book, and yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed it. It's such a beautiful book, and there's something that I would like to read for you, like one of my favorite stanzas from the book, right? She says, "Dear reader, my hope is that my story ignites something in you, an impulse to be inquisitive about your own life," right? Keyword, your own life. Your own life. I hope you get to unpack the good and the bad. I hope you get to change your mind about things that don't serve you. I hope you get to co-create the life of your dreams with God. I hope you become familiar with pain and failure, that you don't wish them away, but use them as an important tool in this journey called life. Love her, Kesana Unono. I hope you address the elephant in the room and forgive. One thing about this line, and only Mpoomy would know, she actually, like, when she says address the elephant in the room, she means exactly that. Hey guys, I had an occurrence where she addressed the elephant in the room. I was like, that's my girl, and that's on period. She's addressing elephants in the room. Like, wow, this is an insight. I don't know if she got it. Like, but yeah, listen, she addresses the elephant in the room. Believe her. I hope you awaken the dreamer in you, bearing in mind that life is not meant to be a breeze. It's meant to be lived in all seasons: winter, spring, summer, and autumn. I hope you get to choose the kind of person you want to be. It's so easy to fall in line and never find out who you are. I hope you celebrate, not in a way you are told to, but in your own way. I hope each book people read is a step towards eliminating cancel culture. We need more grace and kindness, and people's views should not be ignored or discarded. As we all write our own story, we see parts of us we would rather tuck away. But when we do the work, we are able to navigate life with all its contradictions. I hope you do the work to love yourself so you can love others. I hope you change the narrative in your environment. It will come with the pushback, but when you know your why, you don't stop. You have something the world needs, but the world needs you well so that you can share in love and not in guilt. Thank you for traveling on this journey with me. One I continue to figure out as I go along. I don't think we ever get to a point where we figured it all out. Guys, we all just trying, right? But whether you do it or not, you will have tried. Dear reader, I give you permission to heal. Ngiyabonga mina. Thank you. Thank you, Ledwaba. This is a very good book. I give it a 10 out of 10. If anything, African women are talented. Black African women, God did a thing. So talented. This is a representation that dreams do come true, and we ought to dare to dream and show up. I love this book so much. And thank you for your vulnerability, man. Thank you so much. Thank you. And also the work, man. Let's give a special shout out to Praise Am, right? This is a beautiful cover. Love it, Gesan. But I see the cover. Guys, I'm an avid reader, right? So I collect hardcovers. So I was so happy when she gifted me with this hardcover, right? Look at this hardcover. This is one of the most beautiful hardcovers that I own. So usually they're blank, but hers has a title, you know, she always stands in business. And then, it's so stunning. Even the color coordination, even this yellow is such a healing color. It says wake up and heal. It says wake up and do the work. It says you are alive. It says you can. It says your life is waiting for you to leave it. So go out there and leave. That's what Mpoomy did for me. Actually, Mpoomy literally said to me with this book, hey Yvonne, I understand there's things that have happened to you. There's things that you've went through. There's people that have hurt you. There's people that you've hurt. And don't stay there. I'm giving you permission to go and be alive. Chase your dreams. Catch them. Serve others. Serve yourself. When it doesn't work, leave it alone. Try new things. Go and be the greatest you can ever be. And I dare say, Mpoomy, I'm gonna go and be great as per instructions. I am gonna go and heal. I am gonna go and be the proud girl that you're gonna look at and be like, oh, actually she listened. So guys, don't forget to like, subscribe, share, and comment. Get yourself this book. Tell me how it goes. If you've read it, tell me your thoughts. But yeah, solid 11, solid 10. Cheers guys, have yourselves a good one.